Hi, my name is Julie Edwards, and this is the fifth in a series of videos to help you to create your assignments and reports on Word using the available tools. In the last video, we created tables, added captions, and then created a list of tables. In this session, we're going to create a flowchart and a hierarchical chart using SmartArt. And this is going to make it so much easier for any of those detailed presentations that you need. We will also add some captions, and that will help us to then add that to our list of figures. But before we start, as always, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon to ensure that you are notified as I add another video to the channel. Thanks a lot. Now that we have the tables in, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at adding a family hierarchy and a flowchart. And to do this, we're going to stay with this document. I'm going to go on to the next page, so we will insert a page break as always. Insert page break. And now we're going to add the family hierarchy for the cats and the dogs in a family. Let's imagine this is the way it looks. So we'll create our title of family hierarchy. Okay, cursor at the end, back to home, and put a heading 1. And what we're going to use for this is SmartArt, and the way to do this is actually to just use the built-in tool. What a lot of people try and do is create it using shapes, and then they add one shape, then add another arrow over here. Yes, you can do it that way, but this way, number one, if you move anything, everything stays in place. And you'll see what I mean. So we click SmartArt, and we're going to use hierarchy. And we've got quite a choice as to what to use. All these different ones. I'm going to choose a one that I think most people like because it's got images. And this is, let me just find it, this one. Okay. And you can see here there's lots of things. You add the information and you do that down here. Okay. So that's, you add your text and then you can add other text underneath. That's one. Go back out. Let's just get rid of this one. The other one you can look at, we'll go back. So insert and then go to SmartArt. The other one is relationships. And that's quite a popular one too, because people look and think, well, did I want the hierarchical chart or not? Pictures is another one where you can look and think, well, did I want pictures in my chart? And you can do that by scrolling down. And I'm going to pick this one. We're going to have a look at this one today. What you do is you click over here. And I'm going to imagine that in our household, we have the tabby cat as the boss. I'm not really imagining too far because it's probably tabby cat. Okay. And then underneath the tabby cat, we can have the two dogs. So we will have the German Shepherd and over on this side, we can have the, the Labrador. Now you can keep going down and adding, as you can see here. What I'm going to do though is just have 3 dogs across the top. So I can do it a number of ways. I can just click on here and then remove it. Okay, and I can remove this one. And I'll remove this one. And if I want to add another underneath the tabby cats, all I do is click plus, and now I have an extra one, and I can type in poodle. So I'm imagining that we've got 3 dogs and 1 cat. Okay, so we have the tabby cats at the top, we've got the German Shepherd, the Labrador and the poodle. And now we can actually insert images. So I can pick the tabby cat, the image, insert, okay, and I can click, I can do it this way, the German Shepherd. Click, insert, and I can do the same for the Labrador. I can do it this way, or I can do it by pointing into the actual circle itself. We've got the Labrador, and the Poodle. Okay. And there's a number of things you can do with this too. So if you wanted to change the look, I'll just close this. So don't forget, all I did was the arrows. You can, excuse me, I choked. You can actually do this by typing in here, but I find that it's much easier to use the boxes and just type the information in. And then when you finish, just close. Okay. And you've got the diagram. But let's have a look. Let's imagine with this diagram, you might want to make it a little bit different. So we've got little borders, or you can make it look more circular. We've got bubbles, if you wanted bubbles. So there's a number of things to play with here. You can have it looking a bit different there. Okay. So you can play with these and just see which one you want. I'm going to leave it at the buttons, little buttons like this. Now the other thing you can do is bring it down a bit, a little bit more, just to, you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. Because what I want to do is actually put a label. Again, anything that you put in should have a label. Okay, oh, I meant to show you the color too. So this one's just the blue, but you can actually change the color to grey, change it to orange. I'll leave it as orange. Okay, you can change the fonts. You can change anything like that you want. You can add shapes. Okay, but what I want to do is add a caption. So I'm going to call this a list of images this time. So again, we know what we do. We go references, and then we can insert our caption. I don't want it to be a table. I'm going to change it to a figure. It's figure 7 because it knows to go on from the last one, and we'll just call it family hierarchy. Okay, then click OK, and we now have that caption sitting nicely in there. Let's go back up. Okay, our list of images needs updating. Oh, sorry, it does that sometimes. List of images does need fixing. So here we want to highlight and then update the table. Update the entire table, click OK. And you can see it's added that extra label. Now as we go down, go back to where we were. Okay, scrolling down, I'm just checking that everything's fitting. Okay, underneath that, let's imagine that we had a daily schedule for our dogs, and we wanted to present this as a flowchart. So I'm going to write the heading daily schedule for dogs. For the dogs, just change that to a lower cap. Oh, I've used capitals in the other, so I'm going to use capitals throughout. For the dogs. Now I haven't put cats because we do whatever the cat wants us to do, but for the dogs we have a schedule. Again, cursor is here, back to the home page, heading 1. Okay, tab down. Now under it doesn't like that capital at all, so it's going to annoy me. Just take that out. Make that like that. Okay. Now for our daily schedule for the flowchart, we're going to use once more the smart art. Again, you can do it with shapes, but it's a lot easier this way, and it looks nice, it stays in line. So we have a process. Let's have a look at what our process could be. So you can have a scroll down and find something that you think would be good for the way you want to present everything. Let's have a look. We might choose this one. Continuous blocks. Okay. Again, use little arrow. And let's imagine that we start the day with a walk. and when they've had their walk, they have breakfast. They might have a play, add another one, and then they sleep probably, but they have dinner, and then they have another walk, and they come home and they have bedtime. And let's imagine that's the way our dogs are going to be. Now we can get rid of this again, just get rid of the red button, and we want this, it's looking a bit squashed, so I'll stretch it out a little bit. Okay, the arrow is looking a little bit too close there, so I'm just going to pull that arrow. All I did was use those squares again. I'm just showing that it's a flow. Okay. Now, what I can do with this is I can change the colors. First of all, I can change the shapes. So I might want it to look like any one of these. And you can see there's all different ones. Okay. We'll go with this one. And then we can change the colors. So I might have a theme that I want to use. So you can actually recolor totally. You might keep with the greens for this. Now we've got our daily schedule, and we would put a paragraph in. That's something to remember. Always introduce what the diagram is. Don't just put a diagram in and leave it. Always have a paragraph that explains what's happening in the diagram. And so that should just be part of your norm. You have your paragraph explaining what the diagram's about, and then of course we do the caption. And that's the same as before. References, insert caption. It is a figure, so we're fine with that. And we're calling this the dog schedule. And there's plural dogs apostrophe because there's more than one dog. The dog's schedule, the schedule. Okay? We know it's a figure, that's okay. Right? We're going to go back up, and we're going to just double check this is right, and we want to update our list of images again. So just like before, I did a highlight and then I updated the table, update entire table, okay. Right, so we've got a table of contents, we still have our images, our list of tables, but what we don't have is we don't have the actual pictures crowding the so some people put in here, they'll try and put all the different images. All we want in here is the headings. So let's have a look now as we update our table of contents. Remember, when you finish a document, before you save it, update the table, update the entire table, and click, and you can see now we've got our 2 extra headings. But the actual labels are in the right spot. Okay, and then of course we save. Now you can see here I'm on version 4, so I'm going to click File, Save As, and I'm going to save as version 5. Save. Right. So by the end of this lesson, you should have your front cover with no headers, no footers. Your second page should have the headers, table of contents with all this information showing. You should have a list of images to make sure that everything that you insert in there is in your list. A list of tables, an introduction, headings, subheadings, images with captions, making sure the captions are all on the right page. Okay, by right I mean with their picture, not on another page. Okay, all looking fine. We've got page breaks working for us. We have our two tables. Again, they've got captions, table 1, table 2, so they're fine. We have our new family hierarchy. We've used Smart Tools. We know that if we want to change it, all we need to do is add. So if we wanted to add extra things down here, we can. So if anyone's doing a family hierarchy, it's quite good. You can actually do this quite easily. Okay, we come out by pressing the red, and then we can change it still. We can still click our Smart Art Design and play with different things. It's labeled. We have our next heading. We have our other diagram, and we have our caption. And that's where we're up to so far. So our document is certainly building. Don't forget to save, and don't forget to update the table of contents. Thank you for joining me. It's now time for you to practice what you've been learning in this lesson. And remember, practice makes perfect, so keep on practicing. And don't forget, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that way, if you click the bell, you'll ensure that you're notified as soon as I add another video to the channel. Thanks a lot and have a great day.